It's an old NFC West rivalry, but there's no Deion Sanders, no Andre Rison, and no Jerry Rice here today as the 3-10 49ers host the 9-4 Falcons, who can punch their ticket to the playoffs and clinch the NFC South title with a win today. 49ers with the ball and from their own 31 move the chains with a Jimmy Garoppolo to Dante Pettis 11-yard completion. Next play and move those chains again as former Falcon Tevin Coleman picks up 11 more into Atlanta territory. 2 plays later and Garoppolo goes right back to Dante Pettis, who makes the tough catch to pick up 16 yards. Then facing 3rd and 8, Garoppolo with the play fake and fires to Marquise Goodwin, but Deion Jones knocks it away incomplete. Robbie Gould is sent out and his 46-yard attempt is up and good, and the 49ers strike first as they take a 3-0 lead. After holding makes it 1st and 20, Matt Ryan looking to throw and decides throwing into half. The defense is a good idea. Spoiler alert, it isn't. Jason Verrett picks him off, and the 49ers take over at the Falcon 27, looking to score again. But then on their first play, Garoppolo throws to Garrett Selleck, who avoids one tackler before Keanu Neal blasts him, knocking the ball loose. Duke Riley recovers, and the Falcons take right back over. Later in the first, Falcons with first down from their own 23, where it's Ito Smith picking up 12 yards on a first down to start the drive. Then facing 3rd and 5, Ryan throwing and goes to Calvin Ridley over the middle for 7 yards and a successful 3rd down conversion. 3 plays later, 3rd and 1, and the give goes to Brian Hill, who has a big hole, picking up 10 yards to move the chains again. And to end the first quarter, it's Ryan with the play fake and rolling to his right, where he throws on the run and has Julio Jones for 24 yards to set up 1st and goal. 3 plays later, 3rd and goal now, where Ryan fires the screen out to Calvin Ridley, who puts a move on Fred Warner, and the 3-yard touchdown puts the Falcons out in front for the first time today with a 7-3 lead. First play of the ensuing drive, and it's Tevin Coleman running off the right side before running straight into a defender for a gain of 12. Next play, and it's right back to Coleman as he takes the give right up the middle for 11 more and another 49ers first down. Falcons defense forces a 3rd and 10, where Garoppolo fires down the seam to George Kittle, and a whiffed hit stick is going to lead to a 42-yard gain to set up 1st and goal. And 3 plays later, Garoppolo throws quick to Dante Pettis, who can't get anywhere near the end zone, bringing up 4th down and bringing out Robbie Gould for a 23-yard attempt that is once again up and good, and that makes it 7-6 and cuts the Falcons lead to 1. 3rd quarter now, same score, and the 49ers run game continues to gash the Falcons as Tevin Coleman takes the toss. Everybody gets sucked into blocks, and Coleman is up the sideline for 35 yards before stepping out of bounds. Next play, and it's Coleman again, and he picks up the first before even being touched for another 13-yard gain. And the Falcons with no answers for anything as 2 plays later, it's Jerick McKinnon picking up 13 to make it 1st and goal. Then on the next play, McKinnon picks up 6 more, taking the give down inside the 5. Next play, Garoppolo throwing and floats to the sideline, but Desmond Trufant is there to knock it away and bring up 3rd and goal, where Garoppolo is again throwing, goes to Tevin Coleman in the end zone, who has it initially, but the hit knocks the ball loose. 49ers settle for another Robbie Gould field goal, don't get the touchdown, but do get the lead as they go up 9-7. Ensuing drive, Falcons offense trying to come to life, but on 3rd and 7, their drive flatlines as Eric Armstead drops Ryan for the sack. Later in the 3rd, still 9-7, and Ryan play fakes and fires down the middle to Mohamed Sanu for 28 yards across midfield. Next play, and Ryan throwing over the middle again, this time to Calvin Ridley for 13 yards. 3 plays later, 3rd and 9, Ryan throwing and fires down the middle to Julio Jones, who makes an insane one-handed catch for the 29-yard score, and the 6-play, 74-yard drive puts the Falcons up 14-9. Ensuing drive, 49ers trying to regain the lead, and Garoppolo hits Marquise Goodwin on the slant for 17 yards on a first down. 3 plays later, Garoppolo with the play fake looking to throw, floats one deep where his pass bounces off of Jordan Miller's hands, then Ricardo Allen's head, and ends up back in the hands of Jordan Miller for the interception, and the Falcons are going to take right back over inside their own 10. And on their second play, Ryan with the play fake and invites you to take a trip to the Julio Jones X-Factor experience as he makes another insane catch for 45 yards across midfield. Next play, Ryan throwing again, drifting to his left, and Julio Jones is eating Richard Sherman alive, picking up 14 more. Next play, and the 49ers with no answers as Ryan finds Austin Hooper for 16 more down to the Niners 15. Then with the 3rd quarter winding down, it's who else but Julio Jones, who catches the screen, gets a block, and will walk into the end zone from 15 yards out as the Falcons offense has come alive in the 3rd quarter to take a 21-9 lead. 4th quarter now, 49ers across midfield, where Garoppolo finds Dante Pettis for 7 on on 3rd and 4 and tack on 15 more with the Deion Jones face mask. Then 2 plays later, it's Deion Jones being called again, but this time for picking off Jimmy Garoppolo. And with 12:46 to go, the Falcons are up by 12 and take over possession. Later in the 4th, 49ers running out of chances, but they convert the 3rd and 5 with a Garoppolo to Breda 11-yard completion. 2 plays later, and it's Breda on the ground this time as he crosses midfield, but comes up just shy of the marker. And on 3rd and inches, Garoppolo looking to throw and is nearly intercepted again, this time by Tack McKinley. So make it 4th and inches now, where Garoppolo fires quick to Caden Smith, who looks like he got the first, but Isaiah Oliver stuffs him shy of the marker for a turnover on downs. And the 49ers put up a good fight, leading in the second half, but just can't hang for the full 60 minutes and fall to 3-11 on the year. Julio Jones takes over in the second half and racks up 142 yards receiving and 2 scores with his 7 catches. The win moves the Falcons to 10-4 and clinches the NFC South title, but plenty of playoff seeding still up for grabs, and they'll continue to fight for position next week as they head home to play the Jaguars. All right, guys, so an interesting game there. We got off to a real slow start, but then in the second half, it's as the title says, the Julio Jones X Factor experience, and he completely takes over. And that's really the first time outside of probably Keanu Neal where I've really felt the impact of abilities, at least in my favor. But we ultimately end up handling the 49ers and moving to 10-4 on the year and extending our win streak to 7. Unfortunately, in that game, we suffered another injury to our running backs, with Ito Smith going down with a dislocated elbow, and he's due to miss 5 weeks. I'm going to avoid making a roster move for now, as I still have Brian Hill and Quadri Ollison, but we're going to monitor that situation moving forward. I could easily go out and just pick up a much better player off of free agency, but I like to keep things a little bit more realistic and not just pluck guys off the street that immediately become starters. But speaking of Brian Hill, his 9-carry, 35-yard performance was somehow good enough to trigger a breakout scenario this week. So heading into the Jacksonville game, we're going to either need 2 touchdowns or 100+ yards rushing or receiving to earn him a dev trait upgrade. Definitely possible, but the Jags have a tough D, so it's going to be interesting. Moving to the draft board, we had 3 additions, starting with right end Robert Walters out of BYU and Dorian Chaney, a cornerback from Boston College, and they're both second-round projections as well as true talent. Then lastly, we have Isaac Spicer, who's a 4th-round projection and 4th-round true talent quarterback out of the University of Houston. We only had 2 players to upgrade this week, and that started with defensive tackle Tyler Davison, who scored his first career touchdown last week, and this week goes up 1 point in block shedding, play rec, pursuit, and tackle. Then the other player with a skill point this week was newly acquired cornerback Keon Crossan, who goes from a 68 to a 69 overall, with +2s to his awareness and tackle and +1s to his play rec and zone coverage. But time to go around the league, and we start as always with the weekly scores. And on Thursday night, the Ravens took down the Jets 24-17. Seahawks, Eagles, Texans, and Bills all pick up road wins. Giants upset the Dolphins. Broncos hammer the Chiefs 38-14. Patriots get a big win over the Bengals. Lions handle the Bucks. Bears, Raiders, and Browns all win by a field goal. Rams take down the Cowboys 28-14 in Dallas. Then on Sunday night, the Vikings go into LA and handle the Chargers 24-13. And wrapping up the week, the Saints destroy the Colts to the tune of 42-21 on Monday night. So as we take a look at the AFC playoff picture, the Ravens at 11-3 have clinched a playoff berth and hold the top seed. Chiefs lose but still hold a 2-game lead over the Patriots and Jaguars for a first-round bye. Browns also clinch a playoff spot this week and lead by 1 game over the Bengals and the wild card. Jets still with an outside shot at the division, while the Broncos need a lot of help for the wild card. Colts, Dolphins, and Bills all on the brink of elimination, but all still with a shot at winning their division. On the NFC side, it's the Lions and us clinching division titles this week. Eagles clinch a playoff spot and are tied for the top seed at 10-4. Cardinals are currently the 4 seed at 8-6, while the Cowboys and Redskins hold the wild cards. Seahawks, Bears, Saints, and Rams all 7-7 on the outside looking in, and then the Packers, Bucks, and Panthers are 6-8, needing Jesus himself to be playing postseason football. The AFC Offensive Player of Week 15 is for the second time this year Colts quarterback Andrew Luck. The former #1 overall pick was 27 of 43 passing for 306 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 107.3 rating. The big day was nowhere near enough, however, as his Colts were turned into gumbo by the Saints in a 42-21 beatdown. And leading the Saints to that beatdown was NFC Offensive Player of Week 15 quarterback Drew Brees. He also takes home his second award of the year as he completes over 80% of his passes for 376 yards and found the end zone 5 times through the air in that same 42-21 beatdown. Defensively, it was Texans pass rusher Jadeveon Clowney taking home the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. The former #1 overall pick did just about everything as he racked up 6 tackles with 2 going for loss, dropped the quarterback 3 times for sacks, and even picked off a pass to help his Texans win 17-14 in Tennessee. And wrapping up the awards on the NFC side, it was our very own Deion Jones as the Week 15 recipient. Jones tallied 12 tackles with 2 going for loss and also added a pass deflection and a key interception in our 21-9 win over San Francisco. Moving on to the leaders, where we always start with the passers. Matt Ryan cracks 4,000 yards against the Niners and leads the way in passing yards. AFC Offensive Player of the Week Andrew Luck leads in passing touchdowns, and Dak Prescott and his 124.9 rating are good for the league lead. On to the rushers. Ezekiel Elliott has led every week except week 1, and this week is no different as his 1,541 yards rushing leads the way. Kerryon Johnson adds another touchdown this week and leads in rushing scores, and then reigning yards per carry leader Todd Gurley falls below injured running back Devontae Freeman, who now leads the way there. The receiving leaders continues to have a pair of Falcons, with Austin Hooper leading the way in receptions with 93 and Julio Jones leading with 1,528 yards receiving, and then Chargers receiver Keenan Allen continues to lead the way in receiving touchdowns with 13. And then wrapping up the leaders with the defensive side of the ball, it's Player of the Week Deion Jones leading in tackles with 168. Cameron Jordan doesn't get to the quarterback this week but still leads in sacks with 15.5, and safety Keanu Neal pictured here and our rookie cornerback Jordan Miller are both tied for the interception lead with 5 picks on the year. No more Thursday night games next week, and the Sunday morning window features 12 games that includes the Lions at the Broncos and the Raiders heading to LA to face the Chargers, Giants at Redskins, Saints at Titans, and Steelers at Jets. Bills need a win in New England to avoid elimination. 49ers host the Rams, Bucks host the Texans, and we host the Jaguars as we both look to improve our playoff seeding. Ravens head to Cleveland in the game of the week, Panthers at Colts, and Bengals at Dolphins. Then in the afternoon window, it's just Cardinals at Seahawks and a big NFC East game as the Eagles host the Cowboys. Then on Sunday night, the Chiefs head to Chicago to take on the Bears, and wrapping up Week 16 on Monday night is the Packers heading to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. But that does it here. We pick up a more slow-paced, battle-it-out kind of win after a couple of wild shootout-type games. We also clinched the NFC South, so there will be playoff football. But first, we have 2 more regular season games before we get there. Starting next video.